です심지어 탐제도 도전하는 맛이 산지에 공부하는 것이 진행이 도왔죠. 뒤에는 다 이제 장주스가 납잖아. 그러니까 가서다가 취지는 양수만이 라와를 신고를 심어를 튀고 퇴지쇼만 넣어주거든. 난 가서 라면 쇼핑이 삼삼체.
So we set our motivation to do whatever we possibly can to attain the peerless state of enlightenment. And to do that, we need to be able to practice perfectly all the instructions on the Bodhisattva path. In turn, in order to do that perfectly, of course, we need to have a correct understanding. And we gain this by listening to a teaching from an unmistaken source. And this morning, that unmistaken source will come from a particular graduated path to enlightenment teaching.
Dayata gate
Paragate parasamgati bodhi soha.
Dayata
gate paragate parasamgati bodhi soha.
Dayata
gate paragate parasamgati bodhi soha.
Sanje
Chorang soki chorang la janju badu dangi gatsuchi dagi jitsuki besorangi jola benja sangye drukan sho
Sanje
Chorang soki chorang la janju badu dangi gatsuchi dagi chanyangi besorangi jola benja sangye drukan sho
Sanje
Chorang soki chorang la janju badu dangi gatsuchi dagi chanyangi besorangi jola benja sangye drukan sho 고추 아니 디 wogi tik tamaji ni ba kantin trembo jesu trembani
다 간제제 다 가서 거기 주변에 신전에 저 가서려 소신 세다 저는 다 간제 저 가서려 다 간제 지금 다 소신들 저 가서려 지금 가서려 라마치베 도단제 소신 세다네 지금 다 안에 신게 저 가서려 양 군대 노블 룩제네 세다네 도바샤제 도바 세다 도바샤제 도바다 사제 탐제 다니 대전 보다 소신 세다는 다 간제 소신 세다다 지금 뭐 좀 되기도 와 다들부터 그래 라면 코라를 더 다쳐 있는다 지금 랑기 등기 태긴 난가라 도바샤제 도바 도바샤제 도바체 세다 아니 되게 두가라네 가서도 되게 두다 도바샤제 도바세다 되게 두가라 장글라마 좀 같이 붙여 안티 두가라네 가서도 다 가서 로다 이시서바 쇠도 저걸로 좀 봐봐 근데 때문에 서버도 혼이 쳤다 어디는 저 아니 가서도다 동기 난칼라 다 왜서 쳐발을 때네 아니 대칼을 왜서 쳐발을 때네 아니 나를 지나치게 라마티가 공부시 아니 다 안에 지금 가서도 되라 아니 저 가서도다 랑게 쳐던 것도 라마라 아니 저 가서도 저도 랑게 자외라마 쳐던 것도 라마서 거기요 근데 예윤도 아니 잠자야라 라 아니 잠자다 잠배야라 자체다 지다 그래서 자체 조조라마나 아니 가서도 잠발라 아니 가서도 다 가서 저 가서도 안다는데 또 같이 가서도 자체 싹 가서도 다 자체 조조 라마는 조건이요 어떻게 공부하셔 안티 샵들 다 같이 가담 주바바 라마바 아니 명아바 안티 샵들 아니 가담 사마 장발라마 좀 집에 다 가서도 가서다 기바티가 공부하셔 아니 디 둥기테나 마차다 아니 가서다 디 가서다 다다데 왜서 줘봐라 되네 다다 거서 디 바카사 그래다 가서도 규디시 라메 규디체 아니 되네 내주주 자주체 계산 산제 동 되네 자 가서도 다다데 아니 되네 가서 장세 바바나 거 같아요 되네 라게 년도 되네 바오카도 주죠 수마잖아 왔다 속에서 마상 온다고 공부하시 어디서
so that we cover the topic of setting up the merit field. So we'll go through that by really visualizing the merit field in front of us. And there's we were told about the variations from the Guru Puja presentation, and then there's also like from the graduated path teachings themselves, the quick path teachings. And so we'll go through based on that, where we visualize the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha in the space in front, who is the embodiment of all Buddhas. The Shakyamuni Buddha's heart is the figure of Lama Tsongkhapa, at whose heart is the wisdom being, and in the center of the heart of the wisdom being is the seed syllable home, representing the concentration being. And so so this is the central figure, and then we fill out the merit field with all the other groups of enlightened beings all around, starting with those behind and above, being the consecrated practices lineage of all the gurus there. And then on the left and right, in the front of the central figure are the group of our own gurus from whom we have received teachings directly, in the center of which is our own root guru. And then on the left and right we have the figures of Maitreya and Manjushri, and they are at the head of respectively the extensive practices lineage and the profound view lineages, containing all the main lamas of those particular lineages. And then you can see there on both sides there as well, left and right, are the groupings of the Kadampa lamas, and they are from the three different schools of the Kadampas: the instructional school, the graduated path school, and the school based on the major texts. And then below them again on both sides you'll have the figure of Lama Tsongkhapa as well, surrounded by all the main lamas of the Gelug lineage. So then we go through again to the front of the main figure, where we begin below, where we have our own root guru, surrounded by all those gurus from whom we have received teachings directly. Then begin the lines or groupings of the tantric deities, starting with the Anuttara Yoga Tantra, highest Yoga Tantra, the yoga, and then the kind of like the performance, Kriya Yoga, and the action tantras. And then the various groupings of the Buddhas, being the Buddhas of the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate eon, the 35 Buddhas of purification, and so on. And then the grouping of the great bodhisattvas, the Arya bodhisattvas, and they are followed then by the solitary realizers and the hearers. And then from there on, then as continues as it would normally be, with the various other enlightened beings represented by the Dakas, Dakinis, the Dharma protectors, etc.
아니 마산에서 하체 왔다가 이게 숨세 들이 이게 가세 담는 것도 들으셔 아니 되네 두가 혼다다 이두 되게라 왜서 빠도 매가 트네 아니 저거 소다다 시그람 장난 쉬다다 20번 뭐서 가서 20번 뭐서 아니 가서 제한장네 아니 소신되다 탐절 20번 차성을 좀 맞춤 삼사체 수수 삼사체 다디 어떻게 공부하셔 어떻게
And so we see also that every figure in the merit field is marked in the three places, at the crown with an Om, at the throat with an A, and at the heart with the Hung syllables. And furthermore to that, they can be also, you see the markings of Soha, with the So at the navel chakra and the Ha at the secret chakra. So they're all marked with these syllables, and then we see that countless rays of light emanate from the hung syllable at the heart, and entering into the Buddha realms and inviting all the wisdom beings from their natural abodes. And these wisdom beings come and they dissolve into each of the figures of the merit field, so that they are become completely together, non-dual with the figures of the merit field.
아니 말아서 답변을 초사 입장 근데 지기네 아니 근데 다 초신 소소 자체로 소소 매발 때 야 상계 좀 되게 주고 셋업 아니 뒤 두가래 아니 배 신ram자는 왜서 봐도 매버 왜서 트네 아니 왜서 대달래 아니 신ram자는 쉬베 아니 배 최주기와 셋을 잡아 아니 소 아니 젠장네 아니 또 마셔제 두가래 팀 삼사보다 또 마셔제도 산제 탐색을 다니다 어디를 쳤다 근데 너 뒤지는 틱틱을 소소소게 또 매발 반지에 어디를 쳐
So the degree to which we can accumulate merit and purify negativity based on our visualization and practice of the merit field, it comes down to our own ability to have that aspiration, our own determination, our own faith. And so here it's a case of being able to really imbue the merit field with such significance that we ourselves are, imbued with a faith in that extraordinariness. So inviting, by recognizing that the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha, the central figure of the merit field, is also the embodiment of all the Buddhas of all the Buddha realms, and they can be seen to come and to kind of like dissolve into the central figure of Shakyamuni Buddha, so that we see that he is the embodiment of all Buddhas. That kind of increases the significance of the merit field for us.
다가는 지금 먼저 그 산재 국 그대 제가 있네. 안데네 공부시에 도나. 안데 지고 저바 두가. 안데레 왜서 바도 매버트네. 에 신ram자는 쉬베. 아니 가서다다 이시바 뭐스코라 젠전 고들라 팁스 삼삼체. 아니 고데다 산재 탐제가 다니 삼삼 어때랬단 제가 있네 야고심도.
So it's very good to be able to, even in any casual sense, to see any representation of the Buddha, any statue of the Buddha in this way, as marked by the three syllables, and that with the light emanating from the hung syllable at the heart, inviting all of the wisdom beings from their natural abodes and dissolving into that figure, that representation, and so that it for us now represents the embodiment of all enlightened beings. I think that would be a very good practice.
Yeah, what is compassion? What is the kuni pepe would what go to the kumushu jet what? What are the compassion? That the anibel that seems just sweet jeva in there. Seems just sweet the tattoo in there. Seems just sweet good dealer and that long capture dealer tenant seems just sula pova in and Sanjay Rixie. Taganisha. 아니 가서 다가니신 가서라다 롱아 예수도 토하면서 디바데 마차토에 어다데네 공부시에 있나 아니 소소냠레레 팽그레다 고셀레 디 가서라다 펜도 좀 그러봐 펜도 좀 그래.
And so this is I think a very useful attitude and perception to cultivate, because of course representations of the Buddha are quite common now, isn't it? We see them everywhere. And so that to be able to transform just that perception, just seeing a representation of the Buddha, and to be able to kind of like understand too that, that from the point of view of all sentient beings, whether they are conscious or not of the presence of a Buddha, of seeing a Buddha, that even the air passing around the figure of a Buddha, and then subsequently caressing or touching that sentient being, is going to help to awaken Buddha nature in that sentient being, and has the capacity to facilitate the purification of negativity and the accumulation of merit as well. And so by imbuing, by being more conscientious in our sense of really recognizing the full significance of what the representation of the Buddha means, can enhance that positive effect for ourselves as well.
어디는 공부하셔. 당간 이제 이거 남림 인더스 남내 지금 집에나 어다 소신 세다. 안 되게 다 이시바 무엇에 안 되는 쳐봐 피. 안 쳐봐 돼야 소소 무엇까지 무엇 가리 샤미나 티체. 아니 랑게 아니 이게 아니 랑게 뒤서 사비 객사 강가 아니 최배 소수 주네 다 이베 다 지금 강 용수 강하잖아 초바 피해 아니 초바 피할 때네 아니 다 아니 소신 대다가 아니 초바 때가 예수 삼삼체 아니 셰발할 때는 소신 대다 투기를 대화도 대가 동바때 아니 대통령님이 이시 계속 선 와다들 공부시했구나 아니 필랍체 뭐 용되고 요래 어떻게
And that in accordance to the graduated path teachings and the visualization of the merit field, then what usually follows after the visualization, the setting it up, is the making of offerings. And of course we can arrange the physical limited offerings, but we also can use our imagination to indeed offer all of our root virtues and indeed all beautiful objects and precious gems and so on in the world, in our imagination. And so to be able to do that as clearly and as focused as possible, and to be able to also recognize that upon offerings, upon receiving those offerings, that the Buddhists themselves, all the figures in the merit field, are exceedingly pleased. They experience bliss, and then from that bliss arises emptiness, and they abide in the wisdom of non-dual bliss and voidness.
단다데 조회 추두 나로네 다 조회 추두게 냠랭 조단시 요 다 냠랭 조단시 와다 데이터 투버 공부 시에잖아 다 간제 저 거기서 소신 세다 안에 데라 이시바 슈 안에 데네 가서 데다 소신 어느 구조수에 당 안다 안에 수치와 비에다 되다 이제 조단시 거 요다 어디 투바에는 공부 시에 어디지
And so this is included, of course, in the practice of the six preparations, six preliminaries, and that here the developing of the merit field, the inviting of the wisdom beings, the making of offerings, and so on, is all there in order to enhance the blessing for us.
대체자들 거두인의 또또 피네 셰트도 그 참마상으로 차대도 참마상으로 딱 문제잖아. 거기 대대소로데 거서다 니마 찍스 다 니마 숨신가 못이네. 이래서 안 거치 차장소로 어떻게 요구로 다디면도 뒤주 통도시 나로라다 뒤라다 차직선 뒤에 추도 찍도 제가 살았다 차장시도는 마상들 야나 니마 차장 답교시에 공을 소리지. 근데 차대기도 어디랬지?
And so that this practice is kind of in a way more extensive than we can possibly cover in say just 1.5 2 hours a meeting once a week here. And so it's important that we kind of continue to develop the practice over 3 4 5 days, and that and not to leave it as something that's just an incomplete explanation that can be just covered in such a short time here.
What 다들잖아. 다 가세다데. what 다들네 이미인자다 람게자와 다들이죠. 소신 세다네. 아니더네 아니 수대제 아니 가서데 다들잖아. 다 간제 다 람게자와 신이 된수네 전다 밀로 수주 봐도 아니 된도 지카라. 된 아니 냠수랑 같이 쏘고요. 봐. 냠수랑 다 쏘고요. 된도 지하고서. 그러다 소소 대사 지카라 되네. 아니 거신이 된수네 전다 슈 밀로가 수주 봐도 아니 밀로가 다 산제 고마 봐도 아니 람딱 가자 가서 냠수랑 다 지금 쏘는데 어디 쏘고요. 어디
And so then following that, then in one session and one seat, we can go through kind of the Shagom, actually. Like a glance meditation on all the different subject matter, all the different stages of the path to enlightenment, from looking into the importance of the spiritual teacher as the very root of the path, and making supplications and so on, and then right the way up to the state of how the state of Buddhahood itself is represented.
다들 다 가서 잠들을 쉬고 있나 다 가서 니바까지 전부 제수 때마다 신대도 거거든. 니바까지 전부 제수 전반에서 란게 다 같이 계획신이 then also doing to set up, that can just watching that and doing to set up. 당간제 소바 도바샤제 도바 주고르제 다 군도 너무로 제와이나 다 되베 투가네 아니 라게 아니 계획신이 도 파트 되베 투가네 쭉 아니 쬐잖아 아니 데라다 계획신이 되가 유대서 못 하지 당간제 다다데 라마초마다 되도 로잖아 다 지가서다 지금 라마 대선 민자와 되게 차상한지 셋답 요와 인사 아니 라게 뒤인데라 그래서 권다 소신 소고 뒤인데라 라게 자외 라마 최종 모두 라마 되게 권대대도 아니 믹스간에 대 고바시 다 되게 멤버전에다 군도 노블로 되게 쉬바 군도 노블로서 상게 좀 되게 주고 고바시 되고 소신 다지는 상게 투간에 라게 최종 모두 라마 되게 맞죠 아니 되네 아니 제까지 좀 이거 고바시지
So we had arrived at the outline where we will now continue with the how the subject matter of how to relate to a spiritual teacher correctly, and so this follows a second outline where we have the job of really recalling the great kindness of the Guru, and to do this we again, it says here, visualize the Guru in the space in front. So here again they're saying that in the context of the visualization of the merit field, be it the singular figure of the Shakyamuni Buddha, from which emanates from the heart, the singular figure of Shakyamuni Buddha emanates a replica of our own Guru in front, and that we can visualize it like that while we're going through this topic of really recalling the kindness of the Guru. Or as we have established the merit field in its entirety with all the different groupings in the merit field, and then focusing on that group just at the feet of the central figure, where we include all of the teachers from whom we have received teachings directly, and they are surrounding our own root Guru, and so that then we can focus on that aspect, that part of the merit field, when we are going through the recalling the kindness of the Guru. And so saying that really the spiritual teacher has been really very, very kind to me in introducing me and giving me an understanding of the profound path which can very quickly and easily lead me to the precious state of enlightenment, or the supreme liberation, which can completely overcome all of the sufferings of cyclic existence and the lower realms in particular.
꿀라는 작세 동조 바다 마음에 동조 바다 간제 산제게 아니 나를 가서도 가서도 다 로발람게 내걸래는 꿀에 줬다한테 되게 가서도 다 루큐텐데 요구도 다 되는 날에는 즉 가서도 다 즉 아니 즉 추게 측제 아니 되실라 가서도 다 라프로체스 야슈한테 안디 라고 딜라바이나 아니 얘기라는 제가 작세 텐데 아니 작게 뒤서와 도는 게 라고 있다 같이 추게 치와 되는 치도 what you want to do. And then there's a suggested the legend like a local Jiju Jonata, and the Kerang Jackson Jana came in dos. What are the legend? And other Jackson yellow Japanese, or Yellow Javana, I should over in a train near Ragmade, train near Sunny to join and do a mess. What are the nigger so at the Luguta you want to do? But that Jackson, Jack, second Javata, what did it that? Yellow. Jackson that and did even any Jackson Jagging and Jelly Chitting. What a Jackson yellow jabla? Not shit on a train near Ragmaris. There is a yellow train near and a jelly Jackson Javana came in dos. And I she went to give a mess. What are the nigger so at the 님의 담주들의 용어들이 도와다 대주 숨고 여러 가지 추스게 다 개치고 인다 소리. 그러니까 다들 그만 줬다. 그것도 단대지. 야, 뭐 저와 산재의 추 책제 래야 책제 최선의 최도야 꾸라 자세 동조바다 마음에 동조바. 아니 최게 저도 란제서 그래서 좀 이도 와다 세다 제바 내제 또 몰라서 주고 다 간제제 다 이네 되는 저와 매바다 말이 돼 이나야다 지금 심지어 탐제를 편배 쳐도 다 최대 사부 이백 최대 예치부 이백다 나버 된제 치와 된제 소리 좋아하거든 사주마다 반대 아디시 라마 셀링바라 장주가 심게 당아 세배 쳐도 자수들라 두생제는 다와 숨게 봐도 어느 줘봐 먼저 라자와는 이제 자가 유탄치부 탄치부서 되네 쳐와라 젠세다 독주 망신 지바 쳐와라 류소 캐도 세는 줘봐 인대서我大感觉这个去个车都大感觉这个说的这个年个跟着去完了年个得做了这个略当间的你确断对年的大不能那别人的老早我说家好了老从这个配对的说大那些要嘛我看看手机要的吧这是马巴给那你嘛家好了做当都是单单三路当的写个都是我的那个说大概的确的给全部因为影响我他的讲的别的用这个多我的讲
So then it's showing then the importance of the Dharma itself, and in particular the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha, the completely enlightened Buddha, when he was still on the path, not yet enlightened, showing the tremendous dedication that even for the sake of hearing one verse of Dharma, or even half of a verse of Dharma, he drove 1,000 iron spikes into his body, and also burned his flesh with 1,000 oil lamps. And so this was the case where he was really very desperate to hear some Dharma, had found a teacher, and the teacher suggested to him that he would have to do this in order to listen to a verse of Dharma. And that the Buddha was contemplating, okay, if I do drive 1,000 iron spikes into my body, I may very well die without listening to the Dharma at all. But if I don't, then I won't get to listen to the Dharma. So he considered, even for the sake of my life, it's more important that I do this in order to actually hear this verse or semi-verse or half verse of Dharma. And so he went ahead with these particular austerities, these particular difficulties, and was able to hear the Dharma. And it also is said, for the sake of the Dharma, he allowed his delightful wife and his cherished child to be eaten by fierce yaksha. And that again, here the motivation was, of course, to really hear the Dharma, to benefit all sentient beings. And so he's able to sacrifice like this in order to for the benefit of the much greater goal of benefiting all sentient beings. And it shows the great lengths that the Buddha on the path was willing to go to, and showing also, of course, the importance of the Dharma. And this goes through the whole history of Dharma, really. When we look at the figure of Lama Atisha, the glorious Lama Atisha, who traveled for 13 months on a boat in the ocean to be able to listen to some instructions on the mind of enlightenment from Lama Serlingpa. And then the great translators of old who traveled from Tibet to India, crossing vast plains and having to really go through the great dangers of being attacked by wild animals, poisoned by poisonous snakes, and went through every kind of difficulty, even at the cost of their lives, because they considered what they were going for, their motivation to get the Dharma, was something which superseded all of that danger. And that this when Marpa used to say, when he used to recall his trips to India, he still in his old age, like when he wasn't going anymore, he used to say, I still get terrified when I think about all those dangers.
Now to Budilla, Tundume, Larin Budilla, Tundume, Casa, Gentan the Chuo Tutu, Casa, Tutume, Xing Dongbu, Rimbu, Dendra was a lamb de Gunja, Sata, Shezana, do Data Dea, Loning Data Soda Marbatis, Shesuma Daja, Gaja, Deta with Zeme Johnson, Rari Give Shini Dena, Deta Kajala Mutebata, Marato Tande, Tande Tutu was a summer Tamayina, and then give Shini Deta. Gaji kaza data tila tena the dekale kama go bache mityo bar dangwa na sa pe pula pesa meba loba shinto chui shinto loba tsaba ta gaji chibures.
And so, and then again, Marpa is saying, endlessly crossing through dense forests, endlessly scaling long mountain passes, endlessly fording rivers, and confronting perilous wild beasts. Even now, it makes me shake to recall the heat and cold of those paths. And so we see here indeed the incredible dangers and hardships that these great lamas went through, and that it's showing too how the guru can disregard all hardships and be able to give us instructions, like having gained them through great hardships like this, to be able to pass on the instructions like a father to a child, where nothing is withheld, where there's no kind of thing is kept secret, and they are totally open about what they have learned, and that they do their very best to help us. And so we really have to consider how greatly kind they are because of this.
ene 직 제다이나 디 케밥 용해지도 상와만 불랍고 요마르바 상와라바이나 소소 총 매바 차그리야 삼삼 들이제 배고에만 무시 정도도 와 배고에만 무시 정도도 다 라기 계획신이 되게 타바다 탐색 겸 토베 치도하는 라브 차장 다 소소 맞잖아 다가라 다 소소지 지기 이마이나 그래서 배상 매바잖아 맞대마다 쉬고 진지 버려도 와 그래서 배는 들이가서 무이 도와서 돈다래 ene 즉 차상 마시에 뭐 보여 봐. 맨날 소다 가시나 되네 용초금에서 뭐 봐. 용초금에서 가서 상황 쪽으로 된 거요 봐. 대 용초금 말씀 것을 내가 내게면 용초금 말지. 그 내가 내게 나로래 가서 도쳐도 맞죠만 보여래. 근데 상황도 쪽으로 된 거요 봐. 소다 딱 그거 있네. 소다 있네. 다 가린 뭐다 된적이 내수 뭐 못가 된대요. 용거로 다 소수고 누기 개변데 매바 차기를 삼사지. 다다다 타바다 탐제 kim을 거서 남타자 근데 배상매바 돼 시고직 진짜 버려 야 보세요 다 소소 제마도 나는 다가라 소소 경우로 와 랑게는 제 최네 네 대바 내가지 녀바이네 냐네 제 대바면은 다 소소 경우로마도 계획신이 그 차내다 가서 다 시고직 진짜 버려 진짜 버려
So this aspect of not withholding anything, but being able to pass on anything, all of what they have learned without holding anything back, no secrets, is in stark contrast to like the practices and say business practices of today, where in factories and so on, business places, there's so many places where like there's no admittance, you can't go in here, and things have to be kept secret. Why? And even workers within those particular facilities are limited access to where they can go and where they can't go. Why? Because they need to, keep secrets for the sake of protecting their income, their money. And it's all about this money aspect of things, where we don't have an open society. And so here the vast difference of the great teachers who really whatever they picked up through tremendous effort and tremendous hardship from their own side, they just freely gave it to those who were capable of listening, because that's the other aspect of it, of course, that the teacher may be very open with their instructions and teachings, but the student may not have the desire to listen, or have the desire to listen but not the effort to go and practice what they have learned. So the fault is with them, not with the teachers. So it's showing how for the sake of the ultimate goal of attaining liberation or enlightenment for all sentient beings, how these great teachers were able to assimilate all this information, but then also passed it on without holding anything back.
당연히 이제 벤차샤바는 지금 다들 모디바 벤 지금 대대기 코나 룩수라 코나서 맹아군에디 강갈라고에 말 소수게 가서 소수 부고 잡거든요. 다 뒤에는 안제마 가서 소수 부고 규름부보다 민침부지네. 미가게 다 통제사. 엔 미가게 예침부지에서 소수 부고를 만든 맹아들 되고요 말고 근데 전 다까지 시부지 가서래. 시부지 상화체체네. 상화체다 나라조가 다 계획신이 되게도 어떤 데 멤버잖아. 오늘 전에 로마를 되니 도나 다 술라 임바이네. 아니 배사 멤버자 시부지 좀 버다도 처음 보는 사람 다도. 다다데 리카제 다다 탕가다고 다 인데 랍긴 기계 뭐보게 차다 야보 랍고 말해. 데 롭다 다 개체슈데 아니 다 기도 코랑 삼모 땅데 레마도 바이나. 그래서는 디 파저데 랍바 야고 자서.
탕가디.
탕배나 탕가다 근데 이미 강가다 말이 개인 가시다 야보 유고 와. 망고지게 벤조가 쳐도 이봐 인자. 롭다 면도 뿌이다 불라비에 또 가보 요래. 다음은 저 계획신에 타바다 탐색점 받던 것은 때려내면 와. 항상 해도 와. 다들 고라서 냠내 자대가 열받아.
So this aspect of full and open disclosure versus the keeping of some instructions hidden or secret. You can see in other traditions, non-Buddhist traditions, where in fact, in some cases, the essential, not all the essential instructions are ever given openly, but kept so that they can be given to a son or somebody in the family, and so that ensures the kind of like the continuation of that bloodline of teachings, and that the holder of such secret instructions is held in great esteem and great honor, and that because of the very fact that they are secret. So this is the very opposite of what's going on here, and that also we can see that in some cases, like people who are masters in tanka painting and so on, will give instructions, but only the very rough outline of how to do it, without giving all of the specific details of how to do this. And what the motivation is there could be to do with money as well, maybe protecting their stream of income or something like that. But you can see it's very hard to find a master tanka painter who will actually give a full disclosure of all the instructions necessary to emulate their area or their expertise. And we can see the difference here between those teachers, those true lamas who give the full instruction to attain the state of enlightenment, not just to their close disciples, but indeed to all comers.
아니 랑게 땡다도 만와지 아니 라마 챙이 창와자 로마야 챙이 창와지 있어 아니 근데 그 라마도 로마 챙이 창와야 토네 아니 다 로메 자고여리 가르치고 그래 라메 제고여 로메 제고여 소소다 레스폰시블스 게구디 아니 가르스다 보다 다 근데 이제 그 지단 대바tam게 팽기요 말 단다 대바를 문도게 대바 다외 대바 이체게 대바 다 근데 이체게 대바 거래 다외 대바 거 그래 근데 딜레 계속 뭔도게 대바 나야 딘다시 용도야 다 디시울 계속 물어봐 당가서 디 가서 태과 챔피언 투모 많이 벌써 차대기도 와 나라 소소로 아니야 딘다신지 제네 선지가 되어 쭉 두야지 다 뭔도게 대바지 다뭐 이체게 대바 거래 아니 다외 대바지 아니 뭔도게 대바
And so here, when we talk about the great kindness of the guru and how incredible kind they are in being able to disseminate the teachings in this way, we are of course talking about a fully qualified gurus, and that also in the case of the student, they should be also a fully qualified student who is relating in a non-mistaken way to that teacher. and they're saying that having simple faith in the teacher is not really enough in this case. One has to have all three aspects of faith, and that is beginning with the faith of conviction that what one is doing is worthwhile, that one has confidence in the process, and then the faith of pure faith. And then one has to really develop the faith of the manifest faith. And that means that one is now at the point where one can confidently project that I want to emulate how this being, this guru, benefits others. I want to be able to be in that situation, to really have that conviction that I want to kind of attain this level of realization myself.
Kawala Majebar, Satan, the Kawa Majebar, the Kale Jamoko, Chesamon never, Duriche, that Chesam with the Neverden, the Dunchabuch, never is Duriche, Lever Jones, Lever Jonji, Subota, never did, and the Casota, and Casode, and Yabu Shebache, and Shebe to them, you would not land to what you would start to Cholatan, your mother, so you're over the.
So then from Joe J. Lama Atisha, he says, you who find the profound Dharma without having to undergo hardship, take it seriously and practice it well. So here he is saying, like when you have been fortunate enough to find the Dharma, really gain an understanding, take it seriously, understand it well, and don't waste it, don't waste this opportunity, but really make the most of it.
That tells us, but a penna Michigan, do a set, Kalaya set, say and set, certain. That and that Chiwala to a set, that Ravashem ever that shito example Leon to, and member Kavaja two children, and a member and a do say what my chuchu, says Sevat and a cousin Mel chuchu, men Sevat and Chimig Duzijuana, and a never did, and don't that Chibuju to what was. The Dutch was to that member did a change of Yomar was never as member. Deshindo, that Lamatsini that Dembashija, and Lamatsini that Dembashilla, Nandru gave and a Jew. That because a less Sabbath, Lenya Basabate, and a Nibutopshik on Mashachu, Dipatachu. Tedi to the Jeve Gazana, and a Chime to the Chuchu. Chimal Hami to the Jeve Gazana, Tabada Tajaki, Yuruwajubayina, that Loma Dele and a Dutch was. 수중 투여서 로마텔에 되는 차원이다. 요말 되다 첨부 주던. 그래서 라마데 가지 첨부 시우 차트에도 왔어. 되게 좋아. 매죠.
Then the example is given of a person who swallows poison in their food and then is at the point of death, as if they have no hope, but they're going to die. But then a doctor with great expertise first of all makes that person vomit up the poison, and then they transform the food into medicine, and then the medicine into the nectar of immortality. And so you would say in that situation there is nothing more meaningful for that sick person than that doctor coming along, and there's nobody more kind than that particular doctor. In the same way, we have a fully qualified guru with a fully qualified disciple who has lots of negative karmas on their mind stream, which will lead to rebirth in the lower realms. And then through the intercession of the guru, that particular disciple engages in the purification practice using the four opponent powers, and that they are able to purify, not only purify, but protect their mind thereafter. And that and so then that particular guru also is able to ensure that the disciple is able to use the virtue that they have created for the things in this life to be substituted for the sake of future lives, and also a virtue that would have led to rebirth as a human being or a celestial being in a future life is now, through proper dedication, becomes a cause for being able to attain the state of liberation and the omniscient state of enlightenment. Now, in that particular case, nothing could be more meaningful for that student, that disciple, than that, and nobody could be more kind than that particular guru.
다가 내신 거 빼나 가사데 가서 그래 빼나 사자 직접 첨부 요게 지금 사자 직접 첨부 요게 제세라 소바데 되게 빼 직접 첨부 시고 요 되겠지 되게 지금 아니 되네 직접 첨부 요사지라 소소 주고 되는 ts나고라 다가 이제 니마다 아니 까마다 다와라 소바 되죠 요에도 딱 ts나고자 니마도 요마로 왔다 다와다 까마라 소 되죠 요에도 좀 맨날 이마이나 된데 집어 치고 중중은 된데 지금 미질래는 지금 쇼마르지 캐잖아 또쇼시 캐잖아 랑가지 때만 다시 후지 가서 치고 연구를 왔다 가서 치고 수주 연구를 와 왔다 진낭신전은 다 간자 저게 응아라 다 저게 다 론이 동갑 저 주저 거라 산지 좀 되대 배요래 다가내 생기 자가 나로라 다 간자 저게 가서도 다 간자 저 가서도 다 공부를 줬다 파바 토메라 소바 다가네 시간다 야가게 벤주 뺐다 뺐어 저거 상님이 저와 망부패를 주진 제주라 소바 상님이 저와 망부패 표 간증을 정서야다 사제간이 리수 맞지be 기부터 뭐 쇼지 패요다 이나다 이나야 소설 개편 도도문도 와 소단데가 소설 개편 도도문도 다 단다 소설을 뜬겐 다 되게 담자다 루주게 청와서면도 팔아가 소치 다 되지 가라는 단대도서 나라도 계획신이 되게 되게 아니 나라도 남지 때어도 다 쉬우지 진짜 버려도 진짜 버려 다 되게서 다 대다 건가 산이 미쳐 때 이나 소소라 단다 소소가 단다 칸냠 라냠전 되게가 소소라 아니 저기 세제 요가 송퇴 요게 아니 저기 문화전은 지금 타바다 탐재기면 남땡게다 쉬우지 진짜 버려도 제체부터 먼저 점점 카드에 도나시라 맞아 피시우제라서 먼저 통해 내게 아니 기부터 막막 뭐지 명표제 디시우제레스 뭐다 남기 숨게 줘봐 레 시우제레다 얘는 랑이라 술람 땡기도 보다 디시우제 개체 뭐지 디 만노가 제디 개체 뭐라도
So the other example that's often given is that we are, really lost in a huge kind of area, which is full of dangerous wild beasts, very fearful wild animals, and that we are alone, and we have no protection, and night falls, and that we don't have even the light of the moon or the stars. It's pitch black. And so there we are, not able to see anything in front of us, and full of fear of what might happen next. When somebody comes along with a torch, with a firebrand, and shows us the path, how relieved on the one hand are we? How kind do we consider that person who has really, saved us from the darkness? And so this is the example also of the guru. Coming to help, and that here we think of the wonderful coming of the Buddha to India, 2,600 years ago, of the wonderful gurus who have followed in his footsteps, Arya Nagarjuna, Arya Asanga, all the great pandits of India, and not to mention all the wonderful beings and gurus who have arisen in Tibet. That they have come, but they, apart from the teachings that they have left, they are no benefit now. So we have to look at, as far as we're concerned, they're part of an historical account now. So who is the one who teaches us the path now? So this is how we see the guru now, the teacher now, who gives us the path, is the one who we consider to be incredibly kind. Of course, we see the holy beings of the past as just that, wonderful, beneficial, holy beings. But after all, they cannot teach us the path now, right now. So when we look around and we say, how do we get to listen? How do we get an explanation of the path? It is the teacher who is in the present, who is here now, the one who teaches us. And we must see that as something that is incredibly kind.
That is a rari givation denamne, another muki nyamtava, chiwala tubetsana, and a sense in a soatar. Munetane, Sajume, Tunjume, Legame, Kange, huge terracalatas, Jig, Kange, Shuka, Jig, Tapset Sawan in a Mebacala, and Bear Jobu Shuji Becata, Jig, Anazula, Kalatic and Swatch. What Kalatic and so. Tubetsana, sense in a soatar, soana shijina, soana, Sanjada Johnson. Commandant was a chosube, you do my jubata, was chosu, you do Julia Majula. And Tosan concert, Chelu sola, lamnesta, sosola, and can just tobacho, can just sambacho, can just combacho, Tosan gozo, Jitan, but touch it tower lamne, lansam ne donne. Ne doso jube, and got a shindo chess. Then de la corner, Comboludu Jerimale. Dine round June, Jom Dente, Habel Hani Chipuni.
So then also the spiritual teacher is compared to the one who really helps by serving us, by saving us really, by giving us some food in famine when we are again in a desperate situation, on the verge of starvation, of dying from hunger. And that anybody, giving us anything to eat, anything to drink, in a situation like that, or in a case where we are, not able to do anything for ourselves, but they are able to give us, something to do, to be able to make a living or whatever, is something that we regard as very, very kind. And in this situation too, that we are not able to receive teachings directly from the Buddha or from the great bodhisattvas, and so it is tremendously kind that the guru, the guru that we have now, is the one who is allowing us to realize the essence of the profound path, and that is something which is incredibly kind. And in the same meaning, from the conqueror or protector Nagarjuna, from his 5 stages text, he says, "He is the self-arisen Lord. He alone is above the deities because he perfectly bestows all spiritual instruction. He is the supreme Vajra teacher."
Jabe Cheres was journals around la Chetenja and Rangula, you did number kind of guess, make it Potter Bubble. Lama Jira, Chejunta, Chejun, Cheta, Chunwasa, Mula Mayan Rala Rale. Jeso, Majin, Yi Machena, Jabe Cheres, Murjoya, De Dodo, Jira Mijur, Della Yiche, Guishin, Della Yiche, Guishin, Jeso, Sata. Jeva sauce, Jeso, you never Lama Mia, Della di Jingil Labju, Devi, Yiche, Jeso, Gieche, Shetancho.
And then, so this is a great kindness, that it's rightful that we have thankfulness and wish to repay with respect this great kindness. And if we don't, it said that even if Manjushri or Chenrezig, Avalokiteshvara were to come directly in front of us and give us teachings, there would be no beneficial effect whatsoever in our mind stream. No qualities would arise in our mind stream. And again, this is reiterated by Potowa from his text, the Blue Lapis Vase, where he says, "The Lama's blessing, great or small, is not due to the Lama, but depends on you. Without gratitude and faith, even if Manjushri and Avalokiteshvara were to actually appear, nothing of any benefit would happen. But with faith and gratitude towards your Lama, even if your Lama lacks perfect good qualities, you will enter into his blessings. This is why faith and gratitude are essential.
Lama Dala Kuba Mena, Sanja Nila Tenja Mipen, Shedansam, Devi Asa, Marking Lama Ku, Tera Kimba Machacha Lama Kuba Chegos, Dini Dela Gogel Che, Shesuma Church.
If you do not have respect for your lamas, even if you rely on the Buddha, you will not get a benefit. Therefore, humbly revere your lama without any arrogance. And the lama is all important to the student.
Dena asa dada masimje tamje gyula asa giweshini je katin jesu tibe anu kuba dela do kewa ta kuba dela do kewa anu ketu bache lama le chingi lapto sus ta kuba kewa la patu je tiba de tiba ta ne anu dela do anu kuba ketu anu chingi lapto sus she so atebe anu kaso ta soche de da tanje ta an kewa do lama de da kulya kaso so atebe enjibo lama le kuyi chale tuje nanga wesat chaba kyunpa ana deda de gecha deda doba ge gecha deda de doba kewaja ranche semje tamje gyule kesu sa wote de koba shecha.
And so then it says, as a result of this, we make the powerful supplication, O Guru deity, please bless me and all mother sentient beings, that we be able to quickly and easily develop in our mind stream the great respectful appreciation of the great kindness of the spiritual teacher. And they said, as a result of making supplications like this, then the 5 colored nectar lights emanate from the heart center of the Buddha or the Guru deity on our crown, and they enter into the bodies and minds of myself and all sentient beings, so that all negativities and obstacles, obscurations that have been accumulated since beginningless time are purified in general, and in particular all obstacles that are in the way of being able to develop this particular profound appreciation for the great kindness of the Guru are purified, and they are eradicated. Not only that, but then we are both in the mind streams of myself and all other sentient beings, we generate this really profound realization of pure appreciation and for the great kindness of the Gurus.
Dende rangi nyamnen chige chude gechibu gaze yimet hakwe gechibura di ha mogona ane lama de dinchibu yimba shira twaska yo mari rangi nyamnen che chude gechibu yimba shimba yina ane de denge lama de gechibu yimba de shem go sochruwa
So I think the most important thing here is to be able to have the correct emphasis on our appreciation. For if we have an appreciation of the actual Dharma that we are practicing and consider that to be so incredibly important, then that's showing true appreciation for the one who gives you those instructions, the Guru as well. So there's no need to think about the great kindness of the Guru if one is already have a proper appreciation of the instructions that the Guru has given, so because you're practicing perfectly. Conversely, of course, is that if you're not appreciating the Dharma and practicing it perfectly, then you're not truly appreciating the one who's given you those instructions.
아니 지주 melala 아니 지 최슈가 최 만화잖아 지 시고지 강에 최되고 요때 돈저이네 마발레 마다잖아 용거에 가서 최디 개치보시 웃지 마바들 라마 친이 상황이 받지 아 대여도 다 가서도 다 그제 강에 최바 이네 디마다나 탑문도 삼삼식다 너 어디가 열받다
And so we really have to kind of like really re-evaluate the Dharma itself, to really see it as something so sacred, that's so priceless, that we will practice it perfectly without any question, and that it's so important. For example, look at the relationship between the Guru Marpa and Milarepa, where Milarepa went through so much hardships, not being allowed to enter into the initiations and the empowerments, not getting any teachings from Marpa, but never did he forsake his guru, because he knew the importance of getting any teachings from such a fully qualified guru, and that he was willing to go through whatever problems were necessary, whatever purification, whatever hardship was necessary, in order to be able to gain the teaching. So he had a proper evaluation of just how priceless the teachings were. And so we can see the tremendous difference between such an attitude and the attitude that's often displayed nowadays towards the Dharma, where you have people coming to teachings, and if the Lama says something, one word that they don't agree with, they're up and off, and they completely reject everything because they disagree with just one thing. And so they have real at all appreciation of what the Dharma means. Right.
Oh, lama de de sonsa de bitel shebarda. Mitel shebarda. Sosolo cho samdang yo marba. Samdang. Oti lama de sonsa oti mitel shebarda sa shuwa hago be solo sheter. Kasa mile solo shege ba sosola. Oh, tik ngala de kyo yo ba yinsa di ngojo nangedo. Di ngojo nangedo. Kasa rala nebe du shesara. Shela nebe du she lamarwa. Ranga chodola nebe du she lamar. Rala nebe du she. Chola menge du she. Lama la kasate amji kebe dushe wada lege da dushe dug da ne chwa wada de indu da gyendi da di tyoso da ngo tyoso di ana gasa neje di da di ana dile ana lokto wa chongsos ra ana debala so be yende di da di gejo ngar ma debe che di sa do tyejo ngar ma do be dyendi dojo ana tu zewa onje segu neme tida ti ana nanchu sta nanchu ana trebugi kalakta soso tela nega pendo yo da pula pendo yo tengi tigi tuwe wade tengi ana lobde shasar jawa tenda lupar soya gadin shindo che nyamdo gadin yoba nam tawala shane ta tawala shan ti tawala shane an gadin teba che.
So then the next outline is then how we go about this recalling the great kindness of the spiritual teachers. And that here it recommends that you engage in a sort of analytical meditation. And you can use your own mala, counting off all the different ways in which you have been helped by the teacher. And so here, we start by understanding the essential relationship between the Guru, the Dharma, and ourselves, and that the Guru is seen as the master physician. The Dharma is the medicine, and that we should see ourselves as the patient. And so this is the administration of the medicine to the patient. And it's and you can often see the case though where people actually go to teachings, listen to the Dharma, and then set out to find those particular faults not in themselves, but in everybody else around them. And they can go, so and so, they're kind of have a shortcoming like that. I remember the teacher told me about that, and I see it in them. So we're very good at spotting faults in other people, but the fact of the matter is that the correct way is to find the faults in yourself. You are the patient. You don't worry about them. They're not the patient from your point of view. You are the one who is ill with mental affliction, and so you've got to find the faults in your own mind stream, and use the advice of the master physician, the Lama, and the medicine, the Dharma, in order to do that. And don't worry about the apparent shortcomings of others. And so it's very important that we have that perception on the outset. And then we go through counting off on our mala that the Guru has taught me this particular Dharma at this particular time, and I can remember being able to eradicate such and such a fault because of that. And also this particular I stopped this particular negative behavior because of that particular teaching. I was able to develop qualities such as faith and all that, generate faith, particular because of that particular time with that particular teacher. And that I know that, for example, what I did not understand, I did not know before, now I understand. That which I did not realize before, I can now understand newly because of these teachings. And the Guru has given clothing, has given food, has given a place to stay out of tremendous kindness and love, and that given instructions with tremendous love and kindness and affection that will be beneficial not only in the short term but also in the long term, and has given me many teachings in that way. And in this way my Guru has been tremendously kind.
같은 대답을 유해신도 아니 제수 때문에 그거 미제바이나 다니 말을 녀바 타제인데 루이게 뭔가제 직절래 미남당 산남당 자조다지 쿨민기 제바 미소 간여바 데네다지 쿠진이 셰다 상당 녀유 상보대 지소메바 녀바이 셰 지존서 사변제 송사.
And so that it's said that this kindness, this great kindness, is actual, it's real, and that if we are not recalling such kindness with great appreciation and great respect, then it's said that is really the worst kind of person, the worst kind of disrespect and bad manners from our point of view. And there's a quote from the sound of the drum, voices of the king of the Nagas, and it says, "Carrying mountains, earth and oceans is not a heavy burden for me, but not having gratitude is a great burden." And also from Sakya Pandita, he says, "Returning kindness is good, ingratitude is bad."
다 시바 조에 된수에서 기회 신인남 균도 세답시 병안에 다 라말라 상생비와 다음에 류기 니고와 까지 두배 쳐봐 다 같이 까지 두배 쳐배 잡아지고 숨 요발레스 다 같이 요발레 라마 상생비와는 range 강 상산에 벽고 상부 유해신도 년바 표는 당시 냐베 냐바 원시 왠지 년발레 매바 년발레 매바 야나 라마랑 년바들에 개발이나 년바 표자 년바메 그래서 다가 라마들라 카리 투르 요바듯이 오다 büyeci 오더죠 다 라마라 류주코네 니고 안에서 어느 구이 가서 구이 년디 치뉴 소 주베 윤데 다가 저 마사지 잡았다 소 주베 윤데 밤에 토바 제수 잡아서 인데 사자 벤지게 셔나
And then the fourth outline is then how to relate to the spiritual teacher in action. And here we can visualize the figure of our root guru, our spiritual teacher in the space in front. And then we go through the three different subsections of how we relate to the teacher in action. And the first is that we make offerings of materials to the guru. The next is the making is through our respect through our physical actions, and thirdly is the pleasing the guru through our speech and through our practicing according to the guru's instructions. And so these three ways are dealt with individually. So when we talk about making offerings of material goods to the guru, here of course it goes without saying that we should offer the best that we have. It's very, very important. And that say if we have something of great value but we offer something of poor value to the guru, then there's a possibility that this will damage one's commitments, those pledges or those samaya. And so on the other hand, if we have only something of inferior quality and that the guru is pleased with that, then if we offer that, there is no fault. And so then offering through physical actions, respect and reverence through physical actions would include giving the guru a massage, of washing the guru, of nursing the guru when sick. And it is said actually that such actions are very powerful for being able to attain countless great qualities, such as the quality of memory, remembering and so on.
사자 벤지게 시에서 코보시 뉴디나 라멘네조 고네 라메 두바시 두바시 첼라 비아서 다 나도 되고 요바체 아니 라멘네조시 나와 슈비아서 다 지도 잡아져서 야슈도 지도 잡아져서 시에는 켜진가라 산제게 두시 미게 코비 두시 게스다 코랑 아구차되어라 아구차되 코비 두시 게데서 르롱주조 고네 라메 초소 가도 미뉴소네 나도 마셔다 셰셰만나이 말이야. 아니 치소 아니 거서 거벌라서 치대 집어지 좋다. 사제분들다 권라래 아니 지가서 뉴시시 집어지페 뉴시시 집어지 아니 가서 다 좋아이 말이야. 아니 감정 맞대 대당 맞죠 맞지. 대가 라마야 공감 밑에와 시 좋다. 지도 잡아져서 아니 공감 맞대가 추시는 좀 대등에 인생 규마치 민생 일을 다 규마치 받잖아. 니다 카세지에서 뒤에 맞게 받다 되게 그가 뒤줄로 고마고 받잖아. 뉴욕 샵도 제베 다 샵도 제베 뒤에서 딕 삽전 다 받다 다 들려 되네. 소소 딕 삽전 보자 다 봐 있어서. 되네 쇠 라멘네 좀 나네 다 되네 아니 지도 잡아져서 사지 받다 라멘네 좀 나줘 나네. 라마라 산제 무지 뒤에 있네. 아니 산제 탐제죠 뭐 파파 잠배 연구소 통조 습통 시바다 아니 데니게에서 치대 레장 저거다 데데게 아니 라멘네 저 수시도 제발다 되네 아니 데데게 내나서 데레다 줘내다 치워 맞죠 말 치대 레장 저 감자 시도 대와 주네 되네 아니 다사제 베지다스 용수 잡아네 개바치 못 주고 되네 다다 세마다 댐조다 도와다 뭐봐 소 롱다 리베네 탐제서 친지 말로 봐 수고도 다 도와만 줘졌어. 걔도 마치 대녀수고 탐제라 미지가 뽑아도 한데 미수 군자 잡아줘. 자나게 올라 속에 제과자다 계라치부터 속에 제과자 탐제게 최쇼하다 직접부 제와 주변 나도 양답에 또밖에 아니 대체 라메 뇽비어서 라메 뇽비 수입되버데 코벌라 페버다 라메게 때 뇽시 시에디 아니 사제번지다 혼라 펜베 쳐도다 뇽시 시에와 인사레서 펜베 되는도 제와 이버다现在已经在那做家全部做过都对，我他比什么出个，我他第那些真的，他娘们就接头吧，伊那他做家全部在哪都做头用啥的，写的。
So then this account from Sakya Pandita, when he recalls, he says, when I was a young person, that I really desired the deity yoga practice, the guru yoga practice. And so I requested this from my teacher in order to thought open of myself to the attainments of the Lama. And that I made the request from my own uncle, Jetsun Drakpa Gelsen. But he said that you do not see me as a Buddha. You only see me as your uncle. And that you will not practice with the austerities of Lama with your body and possessions. And therefore, I will not grant you these teachings. And so he didn't give the teachings. And later, Sakya Pandita goes on, he said that I fell ill. I saw the signs of death, and I became very, in my health, my elements became very imbalanced. And it so happened that at the same time, my guru, Jetsun Drakpa Gelsen, also fell ill. And that at that time, I devoted myself to caring for him as his nurse, and that day and night, with disregarding all sleep and food, etc., I nursed him as best I possibly could. And it seems that as a result of that, some great serious negativity was purified because of that. And because afterwards, my guru, Jetsun Drakpa Gelsen, did grant me the Guru Yoga empowerment, and that I was able to actually see him as a Buddha. And not only that, but soon afterwards I got a vision of Manjushri, the very embodiment of all the Buddhas. And after that again, as a result of my practicing Guru Deity Yoga, the signs of death that I had perceived before, they disappeared, and I experienced really good health from there on. And not only that, but I had the kind of blessing to be able to understand both the grammar, the topics of grammar, valid cognition, of composition, of the discipline or Vinaya, and of the metaphysics of Abhidharma, and understood. I got to hear and got to understand in a non-mistaken way all of the essential points of scripture and reasoning. As well as that, I became I had fearless eloquence in disseminating all of the teachings of the three great baskets of teachings, the sutras, the ethics, and higher learning. And I became beloved of both deities and demons and people, human beings. I was held in high esteem and invited to give teachings by the high and mighty, including the King of China, the Emperor of China himself. And they had great respect and devotion as a result. I had developed pure inner realizations, and that seems that all of this occurred through the demonstration of ill health by my guru, which brought great benefit to me, because I was able to respond in the correct way through great devotion and through attending to him. And it seems that then for others, that be able to have this opportunity would result in great collections of merit also.
개발 수시 경유를 어떻게
the
농체람 잡아
the three great Teba some they say
벽 장면 넘소 벽 장배야
oh yeah. So the so the Sakya Pandita, of course, is renowned as an incomparable great master, and that and as a result, this he gained like so much of the kind of release, I guess, of great karmas that were holding him back through the practice of attending to his sick guru, and that it's said that Sakya Pandita and Longchen Ramjam and Lama Tsongkhapa are seen as the three great emanations of Manjushri in Tibet.
benjen naruba chenpyo jang osa, benjen naruba chenpyo jang. Taka ja khona zuwa deres ten wanyi de, wata deres nyamsu langore das. Taka kasura, mikpo tongu yorwa ta, kasura, mikpo tongu yorwa, wata deres chigura das, wata ten gu yorwa, wata deres, ta diga ngozu len tuwa che di kechimurwa, wata deres.
And so the point here, of course, of these stories is not simply amusement, but rather it's to really saying to us, look you need to practice like this. This is the attitude you need to have. You need to adopt and emulate these particular intensity of practice.
Benjen naruba chenpyo jang sa, kuzo luso tela pone, kaja padu mewa zebe sa shedu chuba ta shebe ta, tuku shebo chuba. Je maba loza weja, lama benjen naruba chenpyo sa ku shek sine, deba shuk chenpo zebe lama jewa lo ju ta. 다 지주에서 매래자 마베 군거 구도 마사 장 대zam시 코란 지구 두진 세모 양사 용 다음에 배워서 아니 구요 다 그래서 마베 가서다 사용기 아니 라바치테 출련 받다 아니 유타다 별로 잠바데 조금고 구요 유타바서 안 뒤지도 매비에 안서 가서 대화 잡아다 개차야라서 잠바서야 타나 쇼마 조였다 오마 쇼야 이제는 좋아 안에 퐁데 춘제제에서 퐁데 춘제다 가자 그래서 메디어와서 예굴 제베서 된다 그래서 된 탐제 주바 다서 야 좀더 조가 제베 돼서 내가 자와 남은 최소 송어 마송 쉬베 내가 제대로가 최래 친도 친구도 시도 아니 조베시네 최제 라마 세르준기 요아제바 대점 람도 송 시야 람도 마송 송바다스 오다가 감도 맞지라 좀 되게 라마지 요바다 그래서 라마 세준스지 디 요아제바 대점 람도 송 시야도 마송 송바다 야 조보라 되면서 별로 공주 제바 뭐 요바 라 연대 개발제 네바서 미도 슈베서 난 조베시네 태바 쳔베 연대 체제 충계 탕제 라마라 때면서 개발을 케 별로 라마라 탐에 두실래면은 가나게 송세
They said that also with regard to the great Pandit Naropa, and that he, at the risk of his life, went through tremendous hardships in serving his own guru, and that as a result of this, he was able to accomplish all of what he desired, and that and also it said that the great Marpa, the translator, that when he went to India, even though the great Pandit Naropa had passed away, they said that through his great faith that he actually got to meet his guru, the great Naropa. And then of course the account of the Jetsun Milarepa and the relationship with his guru Marpa, and that how he had to build this 9-story tower all by himself, and that and that this was during the daytime, but during the nighttime he had to serve Marpa's wife, Dagmema, and that this included both grinding the barley and then roasting the barley flour, which was the tradition in Tibet, where you have to roast the flour before it can be eaten and used. Then he had to make the fires and keep the fire going, sweep the ashes out, set out the stools and milk cows, etc. And that never really had any rest, and that and through this service and through being able to do so with such respect, and he was able to accomplish everything as well. And so it's important to really understand the relationship between this perfect serving of gurus and the subsequent facility with the realization. And Drum Tompa, on first meeting with George A. Lama Atisha, he asked whether what he had been doing up to that point was actually proper Dharma practice or not. And and Lama Atisha explained to him, he said, while you were serving your guru, Setsun, that was Dharma, but everything else could not be counted as Dharma. And then also John Tompa explained to Lama Atisha how in Tibet there are many who are very keen meditators, but very few you find anyone with any special qualities. And Lama Atisha said that whether whatever qualities, great or small, that you have on the Mahayana path, it really depends on how you relate to your spiritual teacher. And since the Tibetans only see your gurus as ordinary beings, then how could you possibly have any realizations?
Lama la ngagi kwadesa nyekuwa nesa lame yode choda chosam sosa jobata lama la sa tuyanje soa deba ani kosa chue ja chimbo osa sonata tame chue tsikje jig samle ma sonja ani lekso bu she shuwa so gashi jobe sa chebe neba jawane jida subana odanya tilatum.
And so then the third aspect of how we relate to the teacher in action here, in terms of our speech, and that here it's saying that here it's really about publicizing, making known the qualities of the guru at every opportunity and wherever you find yourself, and that here's being able to also make supplications to the guru with a sweet voice, praising voice, and that quite apart from the teacher, the guru giving vast or extensive teachings, that even if the teacher teaches just one verse of Dharma, then we should respond saying how excellent that is, how wonderful that is.
다 간제 저 라메 연된 조수도 야 점점 저 가서도 저 뒤주다 탑케바 제대 개침을 가셔야 소소 가사 라마를 가봐 이내 연대 줘야 되겠어. 아니 미가셔 나와 만도나 그 초스ken도. 하여튼 지 부시스도. 어디 제 먹어 봤자. 다 줘 거봐 주나? 아니 강도도 줘야지. 아니 소소가 대바도 말아봤자. 소소가 대바도 말아봤자. 아니 저 강소소 강투도 소소 냠내 야보 줘나? 아니 라마데 간데 유메데 and social Yamland than a bomb or a missouri. What bought to what church? Social Yamland can't do Yapuchi, Lamasonish, Yapuchi. Yanka doing it that the Lame Yunde Jersey, the Casachita, Kawaii in it, some young to Yunde Jenna Pesare, Yan jumping the Shana Yasa to Zula Keva Church. Yan Sula Shabo in Bogota, Shep Colombo, Mambo, Shisha Casea. 누가 매딩인데 요 소로 왔대. 또 그래야 탑켜봐 제대 개체 보이잖아요. 섬서 소수 가서도 그 뒤에 있네. 지 셰든 안 네가 내 태바 잡는 셰대 줘 봤다. 가소라. Teba skalata. Over kan. Ya so digana. Yende teba jene.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, what the da kaja when da ne ge so chö kare na wa ta. An di so pendo kare jungme da. Shen de ge wa. De ko ne gas ke ma wa. Ya ne no da di sangye re ti chi ji re so da de she ko na mo da ju da. So sangye yin ba ta. Ya bu yin ba de sam da. So de ba ma la chi ge chu ba wa. 다 소소 상계다고 교육 상계다고 서 어디에 가보러 와 가보래 데 가보러 와 근데 그냥 탑 잡아지야 돼 야 파줘라 저기 가서래 저기 먹어야 다 가서 로바트는 밖에 탑시 제 되게 좀 보러 와 지금 남도 로바트를 게돼 먹어야 와
And so this particular instruction of really, praising the guru, praising the spiritual teacher, wherever and whenever, we have to kind of have some sort of skillful means in doing that. And so, because if one is constantly going on about one's teacher as being this and that and the other thing, it may turn other people off. It might be the wrong time at the wrong place in which to engage in such vociferous praise. And so here, the important thing is skillful means to ask: is it beneficial or not to be able to talk about my teacher in this particular on this particular occasion, and that also to very much avoid exaggeration of qualities. Constantly talking about your teacher as a Buddha, as this and so on, and that for your own private, personal understanding, sure, you can see the Guru as the Buddha, but you don't need to be constantly advertising this everywhere. Because it can give people wrong view, wrong understanding, isn't it? And so we don't lose our faith. We keep your own faith solid with your own teacher. Yes, to be able to see them as a Buddha is to your own benefit, and you practice accordingly. But to be really discreet with regard to being talking about your guru and so on, and not to be unskillful with regard to that.
소소게 고루 주고 말해. 시 수인 바이네. 안 다나 자에. 뭐 앞에나 출루 셈바페나 저 남바 이메일마도 봐. 아니 저기 저기냐면 지금 스트로. 아 야포레선 다나 자에. 그래서 펜스 도구 여 봐. 안 다나 자에. 안 다가네 생기 저기 추이 기능 수인 바이네 다나 자에. 뭐다 저기 가서 재수 일하지에 다나 자에. 어디 개침부 임바리. 어디 개침부 임바리. 되는 인상 간사 수인 바이네 다나제 기gen 이미다 추 라마 이미 계자말 간사 수인한테 양보해서 다나자야지 다나자 아니 최승한테는 딱지지 다 최디 소소 칸다 퉁고도 퉁고모도 아니 문에다네 편도도 모두 이렇게 제바제 편도체 제바제 다 제바제 굉장히 제거예요 말와 제바제 디 제바제 아니 간사라 다나자 수인 바이네 어디 양보해서 다나자 어디 개침부 임바리 sometimes 소수의 시부들의 라마디 시부들 시막가 다나 매드가 소설 누구도 수인 말이야 다나자 야보리 편도 지도 야보리 섬사 제수 이랑체.
On this point as well, that we really have to set our own perception of others, to really see them in a kind of a pure appearance, and that they are, whatever path they are on, whatever spiritual tradition they are following, that we see the benefit of that. And certainly if it seems to be benefiting them, we rejoice for them and rejoice in that virtue, that benefit. And that it's not just a case of their teachers or anything else, but to have this sense of pure appearance towards all beings, towards all people. And that we see them from that point of view. Of course, in terms of what they are saying and what we are saying, we can quietly question our own wording and so on as to whether it is accordance and in harmony with Dharma or not. but in terms of the person, we maintain that sense of a pure appearance towards them, and that in this way we so that there is kind of no harm, but that we rejoice in whatever virtue is done.
먼저 섬자 먼저 저기 가서 지겐 나를 검시 연구도 하다 가서는 our teacher, our lama 스제. 시마서 도나게 매버체 연구도 하고 다 들으면 감각을 다나죠. 그래서 이제 라마 대고 있겠죠 말이야. 그 제고 있겠죠. 다나자 양내 섬사제 제수이나체. 아니 대바도 소소들 같이 그러나 소소 갑다 또 맞지해져 봐. 어떻게
So that we avoid this sort of Western tendency sometimes to be very possessive of my guru, my lama, and that and ignore all other teachers. That this is something that we need to avoid, but to see all teachers as worthy of respect and to rejoice in their good works. Not necessary that we actually form a relationship with all these teachers, but to maintain that sense of universal respect and appreciation.
먼저 샘제 탐제라 펜바 두고에서 안 캐래. 아니 샘바지가 펜바 두고도는 원래 있다. 야보러 와. 먼저 제수를 제고 차기도 와.
So if we are in the business of wanting to be a benefit to all sentient beings, isn't it? And if another teacher is of benefit to others, then of course we have to rejoice in what's happening. They're doing our job for us in a way. They are benefiting other sentient beings. So that's wonderful. And so that's our responsibility in that instance is to rejoice, isn't it, in their fulfilling that goal. And another great aspect of rejoicing is that there's no chance for a mental affliction to arise at that point. So it's an extra benefit.
대남기 치도 류소 롱조소 되바메바 동신 개발 까지 주베 최베 네바 차워서 대다 젠더바 라마데 징글랍도 세야 되는 집을 라마데 꿀 되는 거 외세다 집에 규행바 아니 다 라시스인데 탐제게 다 류르션 톰 디바데 개발도 다 까지 되게 까지 주베 주베 까지 주베 아니 남의 제투에게 바데 디바데 다다 다소 삼사고 와데 젠 아니
And so this included on this relating to the guru through action and through the action of speech is also being able to practice just as the guru has taught. And so this is our responsibility that we try to perfectly put into practice what has been said. And that here to be able to please the guru and through our practice of our offering of practice, and that just as they have taught, is the being able to give our body, possessions, without any sort of regret, and everything we have really to being able to accomplish the Dharma goals. And that here we ask the Guru deity to please bless me to be able to make this so. So then from the Guru on our crown, again 5 coloured nectar lights emanate, and they enter into the crowns of myself and all sentient beings, and they again eradicate all the negativities and obscurations that we have accumulated since beginning this time in general, and in particular the particular obstacles that are standing in the way of our being able to really practice exactly according to the instructions given by our Guru. And that again the nectar lights stream down, and we are endowed with ourselves and all sentient beings with the realization of being able to how to perfectly put into practice what has been taught.
我的那是看这我的那是恐怕写过多，我的那是恐怕写不起，我的写。大概这个说的，大概他对这个最新的点呢，这个说的，他吃完皮的，个是上升个吃完皮的，你不需要，大概那些个这个说的，开始准备吃吧，他吃完的送个那个做的，开始准备吃吧的，给起去吧，准备吃吧的当不的，的呢，这个说的。你把这个大概这小区学他的给的钱了，送把这个上升个缺乏皮的送把的，他的那意思，拉嘛给，我是老买我呢，他缺乏送个的刚土皮土也钱了，别，拉嘛的给钱不是那皮的，这拉买我呢，让上升个缺乏的做了，多拿嘛钱给钱，多拿嘛钱给起的准备缺乏了多拿钱给钱，我的拉买给让我呢抵过个，拉买我呢他缺乏送家的给钱不是，第二呢准备缺乏的给钱不是钱，我的钱。
And so these three ways of relating to the teacher in action, through the offering of materials, through any showing respect and appreciation through physical actions, and then through speech, including the practice of perfectly putting into practice what the Guru has taught. And of those three, by far the most important is that third one, of really perfectly practicing what the Guru has taught, and that within that practice then one can include the former two, the offerings of help and tending to the Guru and Sikh, etc., and through our bodies, and then offering of material goods. The least important is the offering of material goods, and the most important is the offering of our practice, the perfect practice, because that's what's important to the Guru. From the point of the Guru, they should have no interest in receiving material offerings, but they should be very focused on looking at the offering of perfect practice according to what has been taught. That is what really is interest of them. From the disciples' point of view, they should take into account all three types of action: the offering of material goods, the offering of physical ways of benefiting the Guru, and then the offering of practice. And they should always hold the most important to be that third one, the offering of practice.
Lama de sansing sheba choba da de dube choba la dona sha me de sansing choba la niebo nang dona de lama de tsini sang yo.
So if a guru is less interested in perfect practice and far more interested in receiving material goods, then they can't be considered as a fully qualified guru.
두배 초바디 다디는 게 다 두배 초바 양보 용해 채도 아니 저기 가서도 구디 초바지에다 아니 사생이 초바지에도 두배 초바 양보 용해 채도로 왔다.
And so from the disciples' point of view, they are focused on being able to cultivate perfect practice according to what is being taught. And then they see that in that context, then, in order to achieve that, it is helpful to be making material offerings and to be making physical offerings of help and assistance to the Guru. And that this will facilitate the third and the most important, the practice.
다 튼잠소 다데 튼고제 다 튼잠소 다 튼다 튼잠고스 체고 와다 다 튼잠소 소소 뭐소 좀 누반나 아니 태도 라레 지대 잡고 그래서 왔지 다 도마도 바데 몰롱 춘제 때문에 요도 좀 두얘기 와다 지금 어떻게 제체 못들죠
And so this then has detailed what we should do during the session, how the mind should be trained, how the mind should be purified during the actual session. And then in between sessions, then we should do whatever we can to practice in accordance with what has been the actual practice in the session as well, and if that is just simply making aspirational prayers, that we be able, the next session will turn out to be excellent, and then that is sufficient as well.
지가 지금 전에 다들 소신 조 된데라 랑게 자외 우천로 자외 라마 천로 것들 라마 거들 되게 가리야지 다비가 장고 라마 종가 같이 비교받다가 야 가람 사마데가 야야 때문에 아니 다들 가서데 다들 가서데 뒤와 가서 가담 다다 숨디 가서 람림 바 슈바바 명아바 숨리 되게 야침네 아니 이게 잠자야다 잠자는 일이 야지 어떻게 아니 되네 가서 자지 가서도 남리 지라 주변 라마데 지라 지는 거 야잖아요 가서도 이게 저도지 당의 야티 왔다들 라마 같이라 미바세 칸세세 좀 아니 라마가디야 아니 이게 가서도 자지 저기도 사마도 잠자야 니디야 아니 가서도 다다데 초신做도 마샤자 도발 파티 안디 슈티 되게 되게 슈티를 파티 이게 가서도 냐를 가서도 저도지 차대야 마티체는 아니 초신 做도 마샤자 도발 티 아니 이게 되게 아니 라고 추정거도 라마티게 자벨 라마티 아니 다다데 초신 做도 말 파티 다도 마 주고치 도마 다도 바티 아니 산제 탐제가 다닐 때 어때랬지 다주나 양아 도마 멘테다 쳐봐 어때랬지 되네 도발을 선대제네 다 도발을 선대제네 아니 도마 지고라 제한타 배마다 다베테 어때랬지 지고라 제한타 반대 잡아 다 지고라 그런 고소도 못 살았어 도마 지고라 제한타 어때랬지
And so then the third aspect then, so the session, the between session, and the conclusion of session. And so here then it involves the dissolution of the merit field that has been there all along and which you have visualized at the beginning. And here the process of dissolving the merit field so that all of the different levels of members of the merit field, from the Dharma protectors and so on, the Dakas, Dakinis, and they all dissolve into the row above them, and into the all of the tantric deities and so on, all the Buddhas and so on, and dissolve eventually and into the figure of the root guru, just be in front of the main figure. And then to the left and right, we have all of the different levels of the Kadampa lamas, from the textual, the instructional, and the Lam Rim, or the graduated path schools, dissolving into the ones above, meaning the figures of eventually Maitreya and Manjushri, and that they also have dissolved, taken this dissolution of all of the extensive practices and the profound view gurus also, so that and then finally the consecrated practices lineage all dissolve upwards to the figure of Vajradhara, so that we're left with the 5 main figures of Vajradhara above, to the left and right Maitreya and Manjushri, and then just in front our own root guru. And so first the 2 of Maitreya and Manjushri dissolve into the heart center of the central figure, which is of course Shakyamuni Buddha, and that then the Vajradhara comes to dissolve down through the crown and of the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha, and then the figure of our own root guru dissolves into the heart center of the main figure of Shakyamuni Buddha. Then the main figure of Shakyamuni Buddha, which is the embodiment of all Buddhas, emanates a replica which comes to our crown, resting on a pre-prepared lotus and moon disc mandala seat there.
lama tuwe ombola mina jibe lama tuwe ombola mina lama jawa shaje to bal chasalo chodo japso cho so atabe sa deni le randa ni ba chene sa rani le tibe rani ja sa lama tuwe ombo ko lamgi gyursu samsa chata
And so that so then with regard to this figure of Lama the conqueror Shakyamuni Buddha, we say, I bow down to my Lama as conqueror Shakyamuni Buddha. I worship and take refuge in him. And so this supplication, then the Lama Shakyamuni Buddha, the conqueror Shakyamuni Buddha, emanates another just like him, and this emerges and dissolves into us, and we ourselves arise in the body of Lama, the conqueror Shakyamuni Buddha. And then we, seeing ourselves as the conqueror Shakyamuni Buddha, at our heart, light rays emanate and equal in number to all of the sentient beings all around, entering into them and dissolving into them, and they arise again as the conqueror Shakyamuni Buddha, attaining that state of enlightenment.
다 라투베 옹보 세와다 심제 탐제 투베 옹보 세웨 아나 투가 아나 다웨킹고 지금 삼로 다웨킹고 그때도 아까부 지 삼로다 아까부터라 홍세베 쳬바유 근지 삼로다 디 타고도 엄무니 마무니 여서 나 거때근지 고마시.
And then seeing ourselves as conqueror Shakyamuni Buddha and all sentient beings as conqueror Shakyamuni Buddha, and we have at our heart center a mandala and moon disc mandala, and on this moon disc is the white letter A, the syllable A, which is marked by the yellow letter Hong, and around these is the name mantra of Shakyamuni Buddha, Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Swaha.
다들 나한테는 믹잖아. 다가라는 믹잖아. 아니 가서다 가서 오므르 마음서 오늘 나 당소지야지.
Then we recite this many times as we can, this mantra, while focusing on the mantra, circling those Sanskrit syllables.
다 주도 개화디 뉴도다 라마산제 가서디 주도 개화디 뉴도다 라마산제 도와줘 대살로 고바시고 왔다는데 뭐하지 대야서 대 주에 개화 남섬 좀나 사부주에 몰라라 다 상주고 몰라라 소바데 뭐하지 라긴 가서대 라신게서 내가 타도게서 타도게 면에 남소서 듬바타베는 뭐하지 이바다 투잠소 지다저고 춘에서 춘잠소 다동의 라마 춘바데레 나를 때로 때 아니 가서 말베에서 나루데 밀레 가서다 말바데 동게 라마 세준바 다 아니 저거 된주 소서 기회신이 된주 되면 송라 관제다 제바 다시 아니 가서 보다 다시ing사 시험부 미다서 오다데 다디 조 신이 된주 라라 밀제도 아니 신이 된주 고조 제바 지금 라마 된주 고다 되게 고망 때 시험시다 담보가 제 어디랬지 난 대셔다 대비 공부 고동수 세계 최를 봐 아니 가서 다 남게 때문에 민냐만 내줘 저 배사 제 전신서 예외 제 지다 자원을 하는 추이다 아니 가서 내줘라 좀 자원서 어디랬지.
And so then and we recite that then as many times as we can. Then we make the dedication, and through the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. And we can also supplement this particular dedication prayer with the reciting of the King of Prayers, in order that all of this virtue that we have accomplished, and that it may be able to accomplish all the temporary and ultimate goals of myself and all other sentient beings. And so we make this dedication with particular great feeling and conscientiousness. It's very important. And then what to actually do in the between session times. And so here again, it's important that in the between session times that we kind of continuously keep our connection to the Dharma. And so here, having heard
some of the details of particular guru-disciple relationships, such as Naropa and Tilopa, Marpa and Naropa, and Milarepa and Marpa, and so on, and Drumtompa, with Setsun, and of course Jo J Lama Atisha, how they related to their spiritual teachers, and to be able to read those accounts and the particular texts and commentaries that support them as well, and to keep one's mind on Dharma reading, and not to read much of anything else. It's very important. And also to really try to restrain our senses, and the way our senses guard our senses through our awareness and attention, and to really have that sort of more strict control over what we allow our senses to go to be focused on. This also can be helped by eating modestly, and only what we very much need, and to also again reduce the amount of sleep that we have, and to be able to turn our sleep into actual yoga, deity yoga practice is very important as well, and that indeed to become more and more skillful at being able to combine such things as our washing and our eating into yogic practice as well.
Give